What's up, guys? Welcome back to video with Open Wars and the upcoming MCU project where we're going to see Don Cheadle returning as Rhodey, even in the upcoming Secret Invasion the AC Plus series. Well, this was breaking last night that Armor Wars will now be developed into the actual film instead of the Disney Plus series. And now with this is like a huge deal concerning the fact that there are more stories with the Rhodey, aka War Machine, to be told in the MCU. Even like instead of a 6 episode the Disney Plus series, and now it being developed into the actual film as well. So in this video, I'm going to go over all of it to talk about what we can expect from Armor Wars and what it means for the future of the MCU, especially as it affects everything for moving forward, especially with Armor Wars having like a Toy Story tech involved, and what it means moving forward as well. But if you're new here and enjoy this, then be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so miss out on reviews like this in the future. So let's get into it. And now this is coming straight from the Hollywood Reporter under the headline that says Armor Wars and the next MCU project starring Don Cheadle will be changed from the Disney Plus show to now the actual film. And now with this is like a big deal considering the fact that with Don Cheadle's Rhodey that we're really see him making his return in the MCU in the Secret Invasion the Disney Plus series with Nick Fury and Mary Hill, and plus with what happens in the series, especially as was because he scrolls infiltrating Earth. The series is going to lead directly follow into Armor Wars, where it's going to follow the story of Toy Story's tech being falling into the wrong hands. And now, so especially with this, and this obviously means that now we're gonna have a War Machine solo film in the MCU. And I think my opinion is I think that this is like so much better than having a 6 episode Disney Plus series about suits of armor than having a week each week, especially with the Rhodey story to be continue on in the MCU, because I think they can handle it in like a Disney Plus show, which I think with the actual film with the Rhodey, aka War Machine, I think is so much better, especially they can take their time with the War Machine story and what it leads them moving forward into the MCU, especially with Rhodey, aka War Machine, as it follows to Tony's tech being fallen into the wrong hands. I think that could be like a lot to handle, especially in the Disney Plus series. And now, even with the Rhodey's arc in the MCU from Iron Man 2 all the way up to Avengers Endgame, and he was a part of the government program, especially as they follow alongside Tony Stark, and even with the Armor Wars, is that they could bring some characters back, such as for Sam Rockwell's Just Hammer. I mean, I really love to have it, especially as he played a huge role in Iron Man 2, and plus with the production is going to start in 2023. And plus, even though it's not confirmed, I mean, I don't think it's possible, especially with if Tony Stark comes back, especially as an AI. But I think we're already going to see that in Ironheart, especially with Williams talking to Tony Stark on like hologram and giving her advice on suits of armor. And now with the War Machine story is that they can take their time with the and like a film, especially in like a Disney Plus series, because even as we saw, Rhodey's arc like in the MCU, I think like he like deserves to have his own solo film, especially as he fought alongside Tony Stark, and like especially in those Avengers films, and especially in like Captain America: Civil War, and all of the MCU titles, and like even with a Rhodey having his own solo film, I think that is much better. And even continuing a War Machine story in the MCU with the actual film instead of a 6 episode Disney Plus series, I hope that like with every Marvel project they could be turned into a theatrical film instead of a 6 episode Disney Plus series where we don't have to wait each week, especially for further stories to be told. And it also stated in an article that like they're gonna follow the story from the Iron Man comics storyline storyline from the late 80s, where it follows Tony Stark's tech being fallen into the wrong hands, and now that it's going to be adapted into live action, especially in Armor Wars, and plus with Secret Invasion for whether it happens in Secret Invasions, especially with Skrulls involved, with Skrulls involved, it's definitely going to affect and follow up and set up directly with Armor Wars as well. But yeah, guys, it's finally happening with a War Machine solo film in the MCU, and I think it will be a part of the MCU Phase 6 slate. And yeah, on top of all this, I think I'm more excited for Armor Wars now, especially as it's going to be turned into the actual film instead of the Disney Plus series, especially as you have more stories of Rhodey, aka War Machine, to be told in the MCU, especially whether it happens in Secret Invasion. It's definitely going to affect Armor Wars in like a big way that we know in the MCU. I think it's going to be too much to handle, especially in like a 6 episode of the Disney Plus series we're about to wait each week, especially as we're gonna have a Tony Stark's tech involved, especially with those suits of armor, and I hope that it can bring back some characters, especially in Armor Wars. I would love for that to happen. But anyways, guys, I'm very excited for Armor Wars now. I think it's going to be part of the Phase 6 slate, and I'm especially excited for it, especially for what we have moving forward. I can't really see where it goes from here with Armor Wars being developed into the actual film as well. So that's my first video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Armor Wars being developed into the actual film instead of a Disney Plus series with Don Cheadle, aka Rhodey, making his return in the MCU? Let me know in the comment section down below. Give this video a like and subscribe to notifications about future videos. And if live updates, you can always follow me on Twitter. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.